Good morning, Bucknuts. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. I am Dave Biddle. Very happy joined by Dan Rubin. We're going to play the fill-in-the-blank game. I have no idea what Dan's going to ask me. He said, you want me to give you the questions up front, or you want to do it fresh? I said, let's do it fresh. I don't want to know. I'm going to do it off the top. So take it away, sir.
Getting right into it here. Okay, so this is called the fill-in-the-blank game. Backed by popular demand, no music. If you're playing live, you're going to get the questions fresh. If you're someone who enjoys this podcast via YouTube after the fact or podcast, by the way, we need you to subscribe to both. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. We're competing with the Michigan site for most viewers, live viewers. So if you're doing that, you're going to get it fresh. If you're watching, like we said, on YouTube or listening to the podcast, the questions are in the body of the story. So you can check it that way via your podcast app or by Bucknuts. It's in the story. All right. Dave, there are blank Big Ten quarterbacks you'd rather have than Julian Sayin this season. Now, I will say this to you. By efficiency rating, the top 5 quarterbacks in the great United States right now all play in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a homer here, but I don't know if I would trade him for anybody. I'm going to say 0 because I do like Washington's quarterback. We're going to see him this Saturday, Damon Williams. I like the kid at Indiana, Mendoza. He looks like he's going to be an NFL first-round pick. He's 6'5", 220. But man, something about saying he, even as a redshirt freshman, he's just so accurate with the ball. Kind of rattled a couple times against OU, but overall I thought I've been very impressed with his poise. There's some good quarterbacks in this league. I mean, Dante Moore's another one. I mean, you could go on and on. I know everybody was high on Drew Aller coming in the year. I've always thought he was a little, or maybe a lot, overrated. Really good kid. There's no doubt about it. Good size, good arm, but I've always thought there was something off with Aller. Underwood looks good at Michigan. I hate to say that. Childs looks good at Michigan State. There's a lot of good. Altmaier coming off a rough performance. I wouldn't trade any of them for Julian Sayin. I like number 10 at the controls.
The number 1 quarterback in the country right now by efficiency rating is Jordan Maiva at USC.
He's another one. Yes.
Shocker, you don't remember USC's in the Big Ten off the rip.
I somehow remembered Oregon, but yeah, and Washington.
If you go in order, it's Maiva, Mendoza, Sayin, Damon Williams, who we'll see this weekend, and Dante Moore. I think that's the right answer. I think that there's been a lot of other news that's kind of gathered the spotlight. If they go to Washington and he lights it up the way we expect him to, Julian Sayin is going to he's going to start going towards household name status. That's a fact. All right. Blank will finish this season as Ohio State's rushing leader.
Bo Jackson. I would have never guessed that. I mean, and I was high on Bo coming into the year. I was one saying James Peoples is going to lead the team in rushing, and C.J. Donaldson's going to be number 2, and then Bo's going to be one hell of a number 3. Nope. He's the best running back on this team. I know I'm not breaking news there. Will he be the starter? Keep people asking me, is he going to be the starter against Washington? I'm like, I don't know. I bet you, knowing the staff like I do, I bet you they'll trot out one of the veterans. We consider James Peoples a veteran to start the game, either James or CJ. But I do think Bo Jackson's going to have the most carries in the game, which is the most important. And I think at some point sooner rather than later, whether it's against Washington, whether it's, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, one of these games this month or next month, I should say, either this month or next month, he's going to take over the RB1 role, no doubt about it. And I do think Bo Jackson's going to lead this team in rushing. I'd be shocked if he didn't at this point.
He does now.
He got hurt. Yeah, he already does. That's the thing. And it's like against Grambling. So he didn't play against Texas. Understandable. Maybe not in retrospect. It's not understandable. At the time it was, I thought. And then Grambling, it's like, well, he led the team in rushing against Grambling. Yeah, but that was all in the second half in a blowout. The Ohio University game changed everything because he was in there third series of the game. He played much better than the other two, and it showed he's not just going to get garbage minutes now. The game was on the line against Ohio University, as we know. It might have been a tie game at the time. At the most, Ohio State was up 3-0, and he looked so good. He's a big play waiting to happen, but it's not just he's a 195-pound guy, true freshman, big play waiting to happen guy. He's 217 pounds.
Right.
So big play waiting to happen, and can get you the tough yards. I love everything about him, right down to his name.
Lamar.
Well, yeah, I mean Lamar Jackson, but Bo Jackson as a running back.
I'm kidding, dude.
Me? But I mean, that is funny that his name is Lamar Jackson.
Not a bad choice.
No,
the
either
NFL
way,
MVP
either way,
or a guy who ran like a 4.09 and played pro baseball and, was a Bo knows.
If not for the Bengals, he might have gone down as maybe, other than maybe Jim Brown and a few others, the best running back. And I'll always believe this. If he didn't get hurt against the Bengals in that playoff game, a linebacker named Walker got him from behind and busted his hip. I remember him walking off the field. He was interviewed after the game. He's like, "I'll be fine next week." Never played football again. He would have been. He definitely was the
tackled him.
A guy named Walker, 59. Walker. I'm trying to remember his first name. Okay, somebody in the chat will remember for sure. It happens every time. I would bet my life somebody in the chat will remember. It's like it wasn't James Walker or something like that.
Wasn't James Francis?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Big Cat James Francis. It was Walker, number 59.
Okay.
Here, let me get my producer to look it up. I'm the producer. All right, Walker, Bengals linebacker, Bo Jackson. Kevin Walker.
Good call.
Kevin Walker. Yep. Los Angeles Raiders running back Bo Jackson and never played football again and really ruined his baseball. He was able to play baseball, but it really he was like a shell of his former self, even as a baseball player. But yeah. Go ahead.
When was James Francis picked in the draft?
First round.
Do you know who the pick after him was?
Emmitt Smith.
Do you know who the Cowboys were going to pick?
James Francis.
Correct.
So even when the Bengals think they did something right, they still did. And Francis wasn't a bad pick, but I remember wanting Emmitt coming out of Florida. I didn't think it'd be. And if he went to the Bengals, he never would have been Emmitt Smith as we know him today. Good for him that he didn't go to the Bengals. That was a good time to go to the Cowboys, as it turns out. Emmitt Smith would have been the all-time leading rusher if he was drafted by the Bengals. So good for him.
Modern times, the Cowboys were going to pick Ryan Shazier. Thought they had him. Steelers traded to before them. And they almost choked and picked Johnny Manziel, but they instead picked Zach Martin. That worked out pretty well.
Do you see this? Like 3 people that I looked it up. I had my producer look it up. 3 people in the chat knew it right away. Bam, bam, bam. Kevin Walker, Kevin Walker, Kevin Walker. Yep.
We're going to get the complaints that we're not talking about the Buckeyes for 30 seconds.
All right, let's talk. Okay, you're right. Let's talk Reds baseball. No, okay, let's talk Buckeyes.
We can talk Bengals and Cowboys today. Not at all. All right. Blank is Ohio State's chief competitor for the Big Ten title.
Oregon, and I hate to say I'm more impressed with Michigan than I would like to be. Michigan can run the ball. I mean, Justice Haynes is a really, really, really good running back. Michigan can run the ball, and they're a really good tackling defense.
Yep.
That's like Michigan's that's a Michigan team that you don't like to deal with right there. But I still think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. But that game's probably going to be tougher than I expect. Of course, last year I thought Ohio State was going to kick their ass, and they lost. So who knows? I do think Ohio State's going to take care of business in Ann Arbor, but that I have a little more trepidation than I thought I would watching them. Now it was Nebraska. Nebraska's going to find ways to lose games, even when they have a Hail Mary. Like, oh, this is their time. They have a Hail Mary at the end of the first half. They're going to win this game. No. They can't get out of their own way. So it's not like Nebraska is any good. It's not like I'm saying Michigan's like a top 10 team, which is why I'm picking Oregon. Okay, Dante Moore was shaky at UCLA, but he was a true freshman, and it was UCLA. It was Chip Kelly UCLA, so definitely better than the artist formerly known as Deshaun Foster head coach. Where's UCLA at? It's in LA. Thank you, Deshaun. But still, Dante Moore was shaky as a true freshman. He was a big-time recruit. Then he, basically had a redshirt year last year. Did have a redshirt year last year at Oregon, and he looks good, man. He looks good, and they've got they're starting defensive tackles. I don't think either one's maybe as good as Kayden McDonald, but they're both like Kayden McDonald, maybe a little bigger. They have 700 pounds of starting D tackle. They're about 350 pounds each. Again, I wouldn't trade Kaden for either one of them, but they have 2 of them. So they're big and physical on the D line. We know. Dan Lanning every year, man. I was like, Bo Nix, he was nothing at Auburn. Turns him into a first-round pick. Dylan Gabriel, boom. And now Dante Moore. It's like he's got to do it for a longer period of time, but it reminds me of what Ryan Day's done at Ohio State. It's like one after the other. Good quarterback, great quarterback, great production. So give me Oregon as Ohio State's chief competitor.
I agree with that. What scares me about Oregon is their skilled talent. Their defensive line, actually, if you look it up, they've actually struggled against the run a little bit. If you're looking for a red flag for Oregon, something they don't do as well as they've done in the past, they don't stop the run great. But their skill talent on the outside with Decorian Moore, when there's guys on the team that we almost got in recruiting, and you see them thrive, Oregon is that team where like their running back is Jordan Davison from Mater Dei, who I thought we were going to get at one point. So the team that's the team that scares me the most personally. I know people are talking up Miami. I do not see that. I'm sorry. Miami is not – I get it. They're talented, but I got to see Miami do it. I'm not a Carson Beck guy. Dante Moore scares me more than Carson Beck. And I'm not even sure Dante Moore scares me totally. I got to see someone solve the Ohio State defense quarterback-wise and look comfortable for me to really get on board with that. But that would be the team because they have multiple receivers who can fly, like legit fly, like we wanted them fly. So that's a little spooky, which brings us to blank is Ohio State's chief competitor for the national title.
I better not say Miami now that you just did.
Go ahead.
No,
Everybody else.
I said all offseason, I can't believe Carson. I mean, we're living in a world where Beck's making $4 million a year, but hey, he actually has looked solid. So maybe it was a good investment for them. I do like their D line a lot. I mean, Miami has maybe the best defensive line in college football. But I'll go with Georgia. Here's why. I thought Gunnar Stockton was going to be a huge detriment to them. Man, he stepped up in that Tennessee game. I'm not saying he's arrived or anything, but I don't think he's going to be a liability. We know he can run. I didn't think he'd be able to throw the ball in big games. I mean, that fourth down throw that he made was just, that was an NFL throw. Maybe he's coming into his own. That was my huge question about Georgia was quarterback. Now I know they won back-to-back titles with Stetson Bennett, so maybe you don't need an elite quarterback to win it, but you need a good one, and I didn't think he was. I've changed my mind on that. I think he is a good college quarterback now. It's probably just going to get better. He's just a third-year sophomore. I was tempted to go Miami because I do think Miami's going to win. I'm not buying Florida State. Here's the thing. Castellanos, there's a deep drive in the left field by Castellanos. That'll make it a 4-0 ball game. Castellanos, I think he pronounces it Castellanos. I'm still thinking of Nick Castellanos. But the Florida State quarterback was deemed not good enough at Boston College by Bill O'Brien. And he went down to Florida State and won the job, called his shot against Alabama. I'm just not buying Florida State. We'll see. I am buying Miami. I think they're going to definitely get in the playoffs, and that makes them dangerous. But I'll go with Georgia. I'll answer your question. A little too long-winded there.
No, that's good.
Give me the Bulldogs.
Georgia is always – Georgia can line up and compete with Ohio State and not have to gimmick. They've got a lot of talent. You know what I'm saying? They won't be in a talent deficit against Ohio State. I don't know if Oregon – the depth is the same. And Miami, I still got to see, but it does seem like those four. I guess LSU would be a challenge too. Keep in mind, you're going to get these teams. If you played them, it would be on a neutral field for them, unless it's early in the playoffs. So that should be really interesting. Okay. I will mention this too. Penn State and Oregon, that game that's coming up, I don't usually get that geeked for other teams than Ohio State playing in a game. I cannot wait to watch that game. That game is going to be, is the term revelatory? You'll know about both those teams after that game. Neither has really been challenged. Looks like Oregon maybe tried to schedule some challenges, but they did not come to pass. That'll be very interesting. Penn State has played nobody. And look, if Oregon goes into Penn State at night in the whiteout and beats them, now that's something. Which
I think they will.
That's harder than winning a playoff game.
That we know that is a super, super tough environment. But I'm picking Oregon to win that game.
I can't wait for that.
It's going to be a really good one.
I mean, spectacle wise too, because Oregon's got the colors and the whiteout, and I mean, the buildup for that will be incredible. And there's so much on the line for Penn State in terms of their brand. You know what I'm saying? They've got to – I don't want to go over Jimmy Frank's numbers again in big games. It's not good. All right. Question. Kayden McDonald will be playing for blank next season.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
I was going to say, all right.
Some NFL team. I hope he comes back. I'll be shocked if he does. It's kind of like Arvell Reese. It's like he's going to be one and done as a starter. I hope I'm wrong. But and with NIL, it does give me a little bit of pause there, because if you're not a first-round pick, maybe you will come back. But I think Kaden would be a first-round pick. I hope he comes back, though.
We'll get more into that here in a little bit, but I agree with you. The correct answer was an NFL team, but we would accept any individual response there. We like yours. Okay, here's one. Matt Patricia will be coaching for blank next season.
Ohio State. But here's why, and I would have been more confident about that a few weeks ago, because I've been told by now multiple sources that I trust profusely that he doesn't just like it in Columbus, he loves it. He doesn't like working for Ryan Day, he loves it. He loves the college atmosphere. His family isn't just kind of like in Columbus, they love it here, okay? So I think it's going to take an NFL team backing the truck up and giving him a Chip Kelly deal, which is possible. If Ohio State loses, which they did, 8 draft picks off their defense, everybody's like, well, they'll still probably be good, but they're going to take a step back. And if Patricia turns them into the top defense in the country again, after all those losses, he's going to be a hot commodity, because people are smart. They're not going to be like the fans that were like, in the media that was like, oh, well, he's not going to do good at Ohio State as defensive coordinator because he was bad with the Lions as head coach. No. I mean, and I know the Lions are good now, but every coach before Dan Campbell couldn't get anything done with the Lions. And the list of coaches that failed in the NFL as head coaches that were good college coaches is long. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Steve Spurrier, on and on and on. And those guys were head coaches in college. Matt Patricia is a defensive coordinator. So many people were wrong about Matt Patricia. It's kind of hilarious. I think you and I were both in lockstep. We both like the hire. So they're going to look at – NFL teams are going to look at what he's done this year at Ohio State. They know he was at 15 years with the Patriots, including 6 years as defensive coordinator, was there for 3 Super Bowl championships. He's going to probably be a hot commodity, like as a defensive coordinator, just like the Bengals poached Al Golden from Notre Dame, but Al Golden was there for 3 years. The reason I said Ohio State is I think he's already a very rich man, and he's making $2 million a year at Ohio State. It's not like he's here like pro bono. He's still making a lot of money. So it would take an NFL team doing what the Raiders did with Chip Kelly. And I'll say an NFL team maybe will wait an extra year. Maybe this was wishful thinking, Dan Rubin. I'll say Matt Patricia will be here next year coaching Ohio State, right here in my basement.
I would vote for that too, but here's what gives me pause. Matt Patricia, his tenure in New England and getting hired in Detroit, was the old Matt Patricia. Overweight, crotchety, not as easy to get along with, etc. The new Matt Patricia, there's never been an issue, I don't think, with his football mind or his mind at all. He's like a nuclear engineer or some aerospace rocket science thing.
Yeah, right.
In one of those buildings that they didn't let Dan even go into. There's like, you put your card in, they were like, It's like, I'm a student here. They're like, get out. Or we're getting they're like, you're going to get tased, bro. Get out of here. We don't want you bleeding out into the others. All right. But now he's cleaned a lot of that up. So theoretically, if he were to go have another chance at his old gigs and he solved the other side of it, not the football side, he'd be very attractive. That is so. Sean brings up, if you talk to anybody about this, it's a Matt Patricia comment. And then you think Luke Fickell will be available? Oh, he'll be available.
Oh,
whether you want him as your defensive coordinator. That's been said to me behind the scenes by several people, not Ohio State people, just other people in the business. Like, what do you think about this? Let's let that one play out. But Matt Patricia, supremely, like Chip Kelly, supremely overqualified for the job. Supremely. And when you consider the fact that they hired Bill O'Brien for a New York Minute, they had Chip Kelly, and they had Matt Patricia. When you are hiring former NFL head coaches to be your coordinators in college,
they're great.
Do that. I mean, that's not normal. It's kind of like quarterback in the Big Ten before this year. It's like no pros. Day takes over. Pro. Something happened here. All right. All right. This is a good one. Blank will be the first Buckeye selected in the 2026 NFL draft.
Caleb Downs. I know. That's why it's not as much of a slam dunk as I thought coming into the year. But yeah, it'll be Caleb Downs. He'll be the first safety since Jamal Adams to go in the top 10.
I don't think so.
He will be.
I think it's going to be Arvell Reese.
It could be, but it'll be.
And let me tell you why. One, let me preface this by saying this. Caleb Downs is the best defensive player that I have been seen in the last, let's just say, since Herb took over. Is that fair? As a time thing? If you ask me who the best player was,
defensive
Caleb
player.
Downs. Like when we got Caleb Downs in the transfer portal last year, excuse me, I literally, like in my mind, was like, we are going to win the national championship now. I honestly believe, had they won the recruiting battle for him originally, he would have guarded Colston Loveland in Michigan and we'd have won that game when Kyle McCord was the quarterback. He's the best player on the team. He's the main reason that Patricia is able to coach this way is Caleb's ability to. NFL teams do not like safeties. Okay.
I know.
This is a fact. That's not even an arguable point. They're wrong. Okay. I'm not saying I agree with this, by the way. I would choose Caleb Downs first. But when you look at what's hot in the NFL right now, it's versatility. You guys talked about it on your show. Who's the best on the team at rushing the passer?
Probably Arvell, and he's the best.
Who's the best in space?
Yeah, but Caleb is
who's the best spy?
Talking about versatility with Caleb, you can have him almost like as an undersized line, even in the NFL, because he's such a good tackler and he's so violent.
Agreed.
He could almost be even in the NFL. I think he can play almost linebacker at times. You don't want to major in it. He can play safety. He can be almost like a corner for you. He brings that versatility too. I hear what you're saying with Arvell Reese. Because you could say, well, linebackers don't go that, but he's not your typical linebacker. He could be a D end. He could be anything.
Who else is used like that?
This is like
who else is used like that? I know you're
going to say Micah Parsons, right?
I'm not saying that's accurate, but this is a copycat league, dude.
Only having
I can tell you this:
only having 1 year of starting will hurt him, whereas Caleb Downs has been on these guys' radar since he was a freshman. These guys are just now finding out about how good Arvell Reese is.
I asked someone who I trust if this was a crazy question, and they told me this, and this person knows. They said that's not crazy at all. Okay,
it wouldn't be crazy. I think. I mean, I've been talking Arvell Reese up like crazy. So like,
it's not even.
No pun intended. But no, seriously, it'll be one of those two. And I know Carnell Tate's going to be in the mix. Kayden McDonald should be a first-round pick, but it's either going to be Caleb or Arvell, and I'll go with Caleb. All right,
do it this way for the Bengals. Who would you rather have?
Caleb.
Okay.
I just think his football,
I get it. It's fine.
The mental side, he's just on a next level. And listen, I wouldn't be mad either way. Trust me. I love Arvell Reese, and Arvell Reese is a smart football player too. I mean, he is, but Caleb is just on a different level.
I'm not disputing that. He's the best player. I've never been more confident when someone comes up to make a tackle that the guy's going down. I almost like click off my brain. I'm like, oh, he's down. He's incredible. But I'm just thinking, like, I started to think about it. What if, guess who's got 2 first-round draft picks and the worst defense ever? And I got something to say about that here in a sec to make Ohio State look better. I don't know who I'd rather have. He's that. Also, Reese, dude, we don't even know. Like, one of the things about Caleb is he's fantastic. But I don't even – what's Arvell Reese's upside? I don't know, man. Anyway, I will say this. You know that argument of could an NFL team beat a college team is the dumbest sports radio argument. It was the one you did on Tuesday after should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame on Monday show. The Ohio State secondary is flat out 4 for 4 better than the Dallas Cowboys secondary right now. Dallas would have a better chance of winning football games with Ohio State's secondary. That's not even slightly hyperbolic. All right.
Bengals would too.
I'm being serious.
Now, the Bengals,
player for player. Oh, even Jalen McClain. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, they would win the game. Bengals would beat Ohio State. Any NFL team would beat any college team, period. But I would rather have right now the Bengals have Ohio State secondary.
Definitely.
Than the Bengals secondary.
Nick Vanosen would be our number 1 corner. Jermaine Matthews at least understands cover 2. And Caleb Downs would be the best player on the defense right now. That's a fact. So with Orville Reese, Cowboys have 2 first-round picks. I want to thank the Browns for beating the Packers yesterday. That was awesome. Okay. Now
the Brownies.
What the Rams did, I don't want to talk about. All right. Last question. Blank Basking.
Still.
You're right. What do I want to say? I thought we finished with an easy one. That was your free extra credit to get you from a B to an A+. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very general. Question for you too. I wanted to talk. Did you watch any of the Washington State game?
No, I did not. But I know Washington was only winning by 7 entering the fourth quarter, which surprised me because Washington State is not good. They were good last year because they still had Mateer and they had the offensive coordinator that went with Mateer to Oklahoma. So Washington State was still good last year, but they were supposed to be pretty pathetic. A lot of people thought they were going to get blown out. I think the spread was like 21.5. So I don't know if that's considered really a blowout. It wasn't like they were expected to lose by 40. That game was a lot closer than expected. I did not watch it though. Did you?
I watched a good portion of it. Washington is second in scoring nationally, averaging like 50 points per game. We're number 1. We're tied for number 1 in points allowed per game. Here's what I would say, though. Washington State can't tackle. They were there for virtually every play. They just couldn't tackle. The running back, his name escapes me. I should know that for Washington. Not an elusive guy. He's a thick, tough runner.
He's like a Mayan. He's like a Mayan Williams, better than mine, but like a Mayan Williams type for those that have.
But he's a little bigger. Yeah, you're right. He got very like good.
Better, maybe even a little faster than not the Mayan was fat. He's a better version of Mayan Williams. And their quarterback, Matt Patricia, compared him to Kyler Murray. So did Ryan Day. I had an Ohio State player tell me a couple weeks ago, this Damon Williams, it reminds me of Antoine Randall L back in the Indiana days.
He's quicker,
but he can throw it. Like, and Antoine Randall L was a good college quarterback. So if this kid, this is going to be a good test for Ohio State. But I do like it strength on strength because Washington's defense is not that good. So I'm surprised the spread's only 9.5, man. Like we tried to guess what the spread was going to be. I was like, I bet it'll be around like 14. Came out, I think early line was 13.5. Then it came out officially at 11.5. Then it dropped to 10.5. Then by the time I did the story yesterday, it was down to 9.5. I think the Buckeyes are good. This is going to be a good test for Ohio State, but I think Ohio State's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. 9.5 is too low.
The quarterback does have one cut move. He does have that first move out of the backfield, that one cut and go move. It's tough. He's not a very big guy, though, and he does not take a lot of hits. This is kind of like when we went to play Oregon last year and we lost. It was like you need to hit Dylan Gabriel 3 or 4 times to make him remind him that he's, the size of a high school quarterback. If they don't do that, they're in trouble. Jonah Coleman is the guy's name. Not elusive, but 5'9", 230. And they do have an NFL receiver on the edge in Denzel Boston.
No relation to David Boston, for those that want to know.
Yeah, he's very, very good. A bigger kind of reminds me of Donovan McCulley, the guy who transferred from Indiana to Michigan. A bigger guy, kind of a bit of a long strider. I will say this, going from playing Washington State to Ohio State the next week, I think is quite an adjustment. It's going to take Washington probably a quarter to get adjusted to the speed difference. Washington State is not a super talented football team. When you watch them play, they're just not very big. You know what I'm saying? Like guys were getting beat in the open field, smaller guys getting beat in the open field by bigger guys. That's when you know you're really up against it.
Yeah, they're a group of 5 team now, a group of 6, whatever it is. Now that the Pac-12 has gone away, now it's coming back in a group of 5 form, group of 6 form. Yeah, they're like a, glorified MAC team now. I don't think Washington State would win the MAC, actually.
OU would have a good could play them tough.
Toledo, OU, definitely.
It was like, have you ever seen the movie Hot Dog? It's like, hey, we were small, but we were slow. That's them. If they think Ohio State,
we're also slow.
I do like also, I think I really like the idea of having a bye week before the game. The fact that it's all, basically in Canada and you got to fly out there and travel the week ahead of time to get adjusted for that. They can get out there a day early. You know what I'm saying? And I do think having the week off physically is an advantage. I've always thought that. I don't think the idea of playing momentum and stuff. Football hurts, man. There's a reason you only play once a week, and there's a lot of nagging injuries. So I'm very optimistic, very excited to see what they go do out there. And like I said, I do think this is going to be the national coming out party for our quarterback. The return to the West Coast, even though it's north of where he's from, kind of like, they probably always thought he was going to be a pack, whatever quarterback. So I'm very optimistic. Looking forward to it. And really looking forward to the Oregon-Penn State game. It's going to be a great week.
Great job with the questions today. That was fun. I'm glad you didn't give them to me ahead of time. I like doing this stuff just off the top of my head. So love talking Ohio State football. That was fun. Thank you, Dan Rubin. And thanks to all of you out there. We appreciate it very much. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Go Bucks.